Good afternoon, Meteorologist Dana Osgood here. We are tracking a line of storms that has a history of producing damaging wind gusts that has already knocked down trees and knocked down power lines in areas inland. This right now is where our severe thunderstorm is located. So it's this line of storms right here outlined very clearly in those yellow boxes. These yellow boxes are our severe thunderstorm warnings. They stretch all the way from Freeport and then up towards the Bangor area, heading towards MDI. So what we're really focused on here is this specific line where we have the yellow, orange, and red colors here. It doesn't look super impressive on radar, but it has a history of producing these damaging wind gusts, which is why we are talking to you today about this line of specific storms here. There is heavy rain as well as frequent lightning moving across here. So these warnings are in effect for the next 15 minutes at least, and will likely be extended along this line as we continue to see these storms progress. These are the strongest storms in the state that we are watching. And again, what we are watching here is the damaging wind gusts that these storms have a history of producing that are likely going to continue to produce in these areas. So if you're in areas along the mid-coast, through areas of down East Maine, south and east of Bangor, this is the area that we are watching here, especially if you are near the islands or in the water just off of the coast of mid-coast of Penobscot Bay and into down East Maine. Because these have a history of those damaging wind gusts, it is especially crucial if you are out on the water or near the water to take precautions because these storms are very strong. Again, frequent lightning, heavy downpours, and damaging wind gusts is all that we are watching associated with these storms. So right now we are not really watching the potential for any hail or any rotation because we have not seen that associated with this cold front. But what we are watching is, again, those damaging wind gusts. We've already seen all of these storm reports here. So these little dots in these little sort of dots here that we have, these are past reports of damaging wind gusts. So they have brought down trees or brought down power lines in areas north of Livermore Falls, near the Farmington and Jay areas just south of Rangeley. And additionally, the second cell just north of Plymouth and Bangor, we have seen those damaging winds already there. So we do not have any severe watches across the state right now, but that does not mean we are not seeing that severe weather because we have those severe thunderstorm warnings in place. So the potential for that severe weather, what we're seeing right now throughout the rest of the day behind that system, what we're looking at is for the areas here shaded in yellow. That is the best chance to continue to see damaging wind gusts beyond the line that we are currently talking about right now. And again, the damaging winds is what we're really talking about. The potential for hail, tornadoes, and flooding is low with this system. It is very fast moving, so we are not anticipating any issues with flooding, though there might be some ponding on the roads as very heavy rain goes by. There is also frequent lightning associated with those storms, but again, they'll go by very, very quickly. But once they get into your area, if you hear thunder, that's when you want to get inside, especially if you are out on the water, because that will likely churn up the water, and those wind gusts have caused damage already in other parts of the state before. So again, over the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll continue to see that line push towards areas of Penobscot Bay and into areas of down East Maine too. Once that starts to move offshore, the damage there will be less. However, there is still the potential for some more storms behind that line. Again, like we saw those areas shaded in yellow, and that threat will continue into this afternoon, moving through the mid-coast and down east once again between about 4 and 5 p.m. But about 5 to 6 p.m., this front will have moved offshore completely, and once it does, the severe weather threat will have ended, and we will have a significantly calmer night and then into the day tomorrow. Now I'm going to reset this here so we can talk briefly about this storm system once again. So again, this storm system has a history of those damaging wind gusts, which is why we are talking about them right now. They do have those severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm just going to pull those up here once again in one moment. Okay, here we go. We have the damaging wind gusts here with those severe thunderstorm warnings. These warnings are in effect for at least the next 15 minutes. Again, those will likely continue to be extended into areas where the storms are going to go, for example, into the islands of Penobscot Bay, onto MDI, and then along areas of the down east coastline. And what we're focused on here, I'll zoom in a little bit, is the storms with the history of damaging wind gusts. For example, this cell here just north of Ellsworth, currently bringing in some really heavy rain and significant lightning as well. So we will continue to be tracking these storms. We will have more information about those as we get into our newscasts on News Center Maine at 4 p.m. and beyond. But again, I just want to reiterate that these storms have a history of damaging winds with down trees and down power lines. So we will be continuing to track these as they continue to progress, and the potential for some more storms later this afternoon. We'll have more information about that tonight on News Center Maine at 4 o'clock.